the scriptures. Now, the days are different. 25 years was given for the span of work for these people. But God said, after that 25 years that they would have spent at work, they may help their fellow Levites in performing their duties in the tent. So it wasn't total retirement. It was some partial form of retirement. But he must not perform any service by himself. This is how you are to regulate the duties of the Levite. So let me set the record straight, because I'm talking to Christians. Why I said you are not taught this in school. How many of us inside this room have gone for a program on retirement before? I'd like to start. Have you ever attended a program on retirement? Please, can you raise up your hand? 1, 2. Pastor has gone for one. You have gone for one, sir. We want to retire you that you are as young as so I'm joking. You've gone for one before. Please, can I see your hands up again? You can do a count in this room. Nobody ever teaches you how to retire. Let me say to you, the last few years of your life after work are some of the most significant. We are talking about legacies. Transgenerational legacies. 20, 25, 30 years after work. That's what we are talking about. So, right from the scriptures, it is clear that God created and established and instituted the concept of retirement. In John chapter 9, verse 4, Jesus said, as long as it is day, I don't have the time, so I'm going to rush. We must do the work of who? Of him who sent us. Night is coming. When what will happen? There is a time you will not be able to walk. Chief Festus Onigbide, the former Super Eagles coach, once said they were telling him, why is it that Nigerian players are old, they don't want to retire, they need to leave the room, leave the space for younger players. He said something years ago. He said, you don't have to tell them to retire. He said, if they don't leave football, football will leave them one day. You will not work forever. The concept of work that is that is eternal does not exist. The scriptures made that clear. In John chapter 21, verse 18, Jesus was also talking. He says, I'm telling you the truth. When you were young, you used to get, so I'm quoting from some newer translations. You used to get ready and go anywhere you wanted to. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands and someone else will tie you up and take you where you don't want to go. Why am I talking about that? Retirement has always been painted as you stopping work. Retirement is also your aging process. What you can do, some of the food we are eating today, we could probably combine 3, 4, 5 times those food in those 20, 30 years ago. One of the key concepts of retirement that is not taken care of is how do you take care of yourself in your old age? You can see your parents. You can see a lot of people who have lost their sight. Most of us, I used to jog. Now I still walk. But at some point, my knees could not jog again. My ankles could not take it. Some of us are at ages where we have underlying conditions. During COVID-19, I once had COVID and I went into isolation. Stayed in the United Nations Isolation Center for 3 weeks. My entire family had COVID. I tested positive. Some people say it's not true. The first question they will ask you, do you have underlying conditions? Diabetes, hypertension. Most people are hypertensive, above 40. In fact, the danger is that it has gone below 40 now. Old age and aging process is a key, impact of, or key outcome of, the fact that you are going to stop working and you are going to experience it. Finally, Genesis 2:2. I read from Good News Bible. It says, by the 7th day, God finished what he had been doing and stopped working. Why am I quoting all of this? I'm talking to Christians. I will start these sessions with people outside of this place like that. It's to tell us that you have to prepare. The day is coming when you will not be able to work. Secondly, the day is coming when your body will start to tell you your age. I can't ask Brodemola to jog 50 times. When I go into a room, okay, sir. My boy is very fit. But there are some people I can't ask them to jump. We don't have ambulance outside. Because we carry some people home. We are going to grow old. Retirement is not just about cessation of work. It is also about the onset and the limiting impact of aging. You will age. I'll speak to some things very quickly. So in the core principles of retirement, there are age milestones that we don't take seriously. Age 1 to 19 is where you lay the foundation for life. And a lot of times when we miss it with people at that junction, we're in trouble. That's what we're saying with our young people. 1 to 19. I call it the growthhood years. Teenage and the childhood years. The educationist here, you can define it differently. I call it growthhood. You must not miss those first 19 years. The foundations of greatness are laid in those years. And there's what we call growthhood poverty. People who were born into poverty. I'm not talking about that. I'm going to retirement poverty very soon. The second stage combines two sets of age milestones. 25 to 40. It is expected by 25 you have started work, and by 40 you're able to build a strong career. That is where you lay the pivotal, building stones for success in life. And then you have 41 to 60 when you consolidate on it. That is also when you plan for retirement. Afterwards, you are meant to enter into a stage of old age. Some of us are already approaching it. We used to run on this campus, we were teenagers, we were 20s. Now we're in our 50s. Now we're coming to 60s. Now you can't even believe your age. They tell you your age, you say, I deny it in Jesus' name. Because it's staring you in the face. Some of our, we used to call them bro sisters. They are grandparents. I have classmates from secondary school. The children, they have 2 grandchildren, 3 grandchildren. The faces of life that we looked at that looked like it was not going to happen as eventually happened. And then there's about 65 years when you start to rest in peace or in pieces, depending on what you have done with those years. It's very important that we take this age milestone seriously. That's why the young people that are here, your years are very blessed. Nobody taught us this. And we went out because you always thought that you need to learn about retirement 5 years before you leave. It's too late. I'll say it in advance. Retirement is a marathon plan. It's 30 to 35 years. Most of us are an extra time. As we are seated, you spend 25, 30 years. You are too late. But it's better late than never. That's why we're also here. Okay? So there are 2 types of work you can do. There's primary work, what you call primary work. What is primary work? You work for economic, psychological, physiological reasons. You need to feed, you need to take care of your family. That's primary work. That's what you do until retirement. People work after retirement, and that's what we call secondary work. Some people are driven by economic reasons. They cannot afford to retire. A lot of Nigerians cannot afford to. I'm going to give you statistics, I'm going to give you my experience. And you can look all around you. Some people cannot afford to retire because they don't have any other thing they will do. Psychologically and physically, anatomically, physiologically, they are going to struggle. That is what we call secondary work. And then there is cessation of work finally, when you are not able to work. These are the phases of life that we all go through. How are religious people dealing with retirement? People of faith, how are we dealing with it? It's been found out that Christians struggle. The next slide. If you can see it. The Christians and clergy, pastors struggle with retirement. They don't retire well. I'm not cussing. And anybody that knows me knows I don't shy away from the truth. This is statistics, this is evidence. Christians don't retire well. Religious beliefs. Pastors in the UK, this is NBC News. Clergy seems on an unlikely group to be facing retirement security. A lot of pastors are not doing well after retirement. I say the truth the way it is. A lot of them are dying their hair, they've changed their ages. I don't know anybody any apology for that. It's done all over Nigeria. Most people cut their ages by 5 years, including some of our folks that work through this place to get jobs. Because some of them were retired before they started work. When they came out of school, after ASU strike, they were 30. They say if you're above 25, don't apply. You're already retired before you started work. So some people, that was the way how can you retire me? I've not even started work. A lot of people have cut their ages. Affidavit upon affidavit. I see someone who will be saying we are the same age group. Egbon is talking about buying a car in 1982 when I was in secondary school. Egbon has forgotten that he told us that we are age mates. When you sit in interviews, when you want to catch people that have done age teach, you don't ask them when were they born. You ask them, you don't ask them how old are they. You ask them when were they born. They won't be able to figure it out. When you are cutting ages, they ask you when were you born. Because you are looking at the man. And it shows. Some people can hide it, some people cannot. I see some people climbing in the federal secretariat in Abuja, and I'm wondering, this man is in his 70s. People can't afford to retire. And clergies are not doing well. Christians are not doing well. Number one reason Christians can't retire. Two things we have found out. Ignorance and lack of planning. We don't even know. God is always our insurance. Until we are unable to plan. Muslims also don't do it well, so don't let me focus on that. What about women? How are women doing with retirement? Women are not doing well with retirement across the world. They are not handling retirement very well. Women will face 7 different challenges in addition to what men face in retirement. Sister Inka will face it. Sister Jane will face it. All women will face it. They don't even know. There are things we don't know. We call it level of unconscious incompetence. We don't know. Number one is that women live longer than men for different reasons. One, most men are older than their wives, 5-10 years. So the woman is more likely to live longer. When you are eating 70, your wife is eating 60. That's why men, there are a lot more widows than widowers. Is that not true? Is that not true? Most of us have moms that are widows. We rarely have men that are widowers. So one of those 7 is that women will live longer. Secondly, women will not save as much as men. Number 3, women will take time off work to take care of the family, whether it's the husband or children. So they don't also get to the height of their careers as men. Number 4, women don't save. They don't even have financial knowledge as men. As you are seated here, please ask any woman who takes financial decisions in the house. Investment is my husband. My mom is a widow. When the man goes, my mom wanted to follow my father to the grave. And I didn't realize I said that to her. I told her at the burial, I said, Mom, if you want to go, do it now so that we'll do it together. She was cancelling me. I said, Mom, all this one, we are begging you. All this one, there are children all over. My father died 22 years ago, a week to my wedding. The wedding took place, we found out a week after. They told everybody, don't tell them. So we got married in Jos and returned to do burial. So when we went to do the burial, they were 5 and 6. You were crying. I said, Mommy, see, we do. If you want to go, do it now. So that we pack everything together. We do one burial service. She was using it to encourage another woman. I didn't know I said it, but that's the way it is. Because you got to move on. Financial decisions are not taken by women. Women are most of the time financially literate. You're all looking at me as women. I don't have the time. You don't know about bills. You don't know about anything. My husband takes care of all those things. And the man may likely go before you. God forbid. Okay. Even men are praying that they go before you. Yes. My father always prays. Who's going to take care of them? They don't want to be left behind, and then they are finding out how they are going to eat in the night. These are the reality. So women face 7 things. There's also what we call the pink penalty that is paid by a woman. Women pay like 5-6 times more on every single thing you use with men. You pay more. The society penalizes you. So women they don't save well enough. They live longer. They don't get to the height of their careers. You are lucky if your wife got to the height of the career because they take time off for us. How are women faring? They are not faring well. They will face 7 different things that men don't face. And so they don't know how to plan for it. What about the rest of the world? I want to show us this. I'm not sure we're going to say it. We're struggling. I want to show us the rest of the world. From India, please, what's going on with, so you may not be able to see it from afar. Everywhere you look at, UK, US, Canada, India, Nigeria, there is retirement crisis everywhere in the world. I'm a voice of one that cries in the wilderness. I'm shouting on the top of my voice. Wallah is coming. We're already inside. Stop saying God forbid. I get to the end of the point. God forbid is not just a prayer point, it's an action point. We are running into what you call retirement poverty. We're already in it. My wonderful egbons are seated there and all the professors. How much are you earning? How much is your... I'm on pension. I'm a young pensioner as you see me. But I've not retired. A director, which is what probably... A director and the professor will earn like less than 200,000 naira as retirement benefit. My mom that is, trying to clock 80, our meager expenses in a month is 250,000. In fact, our own pension as a retired minister is 42,000. I don't know how much mommy collects, Sister Yinka. They are the ones funding. We are the ones funding. We call it black taxes. That's why we are not able to make it in creating wealth as Africans. Black taxes have killed all of us. As you are seated here, only God knows how much you spend every single month on relatives and family members, including your parents. But you see, the danger is the younger generation will not do that for us. They can't even afford to. You see, they are laughing. They are looking at you and say, be deceiving yourself. You think they are Christian. They will tell you. So we called Dr. Boyo, 20, I don't know, one of the years. I think it was Brother Soji that was the president. I invited him for a program here. He shared with us how he had sons and his father was sick. So he and his siblings were planning to fly the man outside of Nigeria, and they were trying to contribute money. And one of the sons asked him, said, "Daddy, why are we contributing money for? Why are you trying to contribute money for Grandpa? I will share with you my own wonderful children. They love us too, but they will tell you the bloody truth. At times he annoys you. But that's what that generation will do to us. And they deserve to do so. Don't say, we didn't bring them up well in the way of the Lord. No. Says, let every man do what? Bear each other's what? We are all Bible pastors. We are pastors. So yeah. Let every man do what? Bear his own burden. You better prepare for it. So the man said, the boy looked at him and said, "Daddy, why should you be contributing money?" He said, my father. He's my father. He's sick. He can't take care of himself. You know what the boy said? Did Grandpa know that he was going to grow old? Yes. He said, Is it not true? Didn't you know? Didn't you know? He said, shouldn't Grandpa have saved for his medical benefit? You are shaking your head. They are not talking to you now. They are looking at you and say, Daddy will know. One of my siblings wanted to marry. He wants to go to the east. My daughter was telling him, said, you want to get a vehicle for grandma and one uncle. He said, why are you getting a vehicle for them? Why can't they pay? Yes. If you send them to school even outside of Nigeria, they will tell you, any one of you, they have the fear of God, they have the love of God. They will tell you, you bear your burden. If you travel outside of this country, nobody will take you home for 1 week or 2 weeks without asking you. That's the bloody honest truth. This is where we have big houses. People stay with us. That generation is gone. They are not even contributing money for fellowship. It's you that they will contribute money for. Abi? They are already telling you, how fun it be. You won't find any. That's the generation. And that's why I said even the missions are suffering. The last generation that funded the gospel is this generation. They are asking questions. They are saying to everybody, why can't we be more sustainable? The whole world is going through retirement crisis. And that is what I said by saying the world is sleepwalking into a retirement crisis. Most of us are seated here. We are running into trouble. We are hitting 60s. We are hitting 65. How are you going to survive in Nigeria? I live somewhere in Abuja where I have 24/7 light. I don't use generator. It's not so rock. So there are so many impressions we have about this country that are not real. I was in the train, a young man told me in Otta, they don't take their light. I used to pay 10,000 naira a week. I do 40,000 a week on band A. I took generator, they stole it. The security man stole it because we didn't use for 3 years. How are you going to pay for light? How are you going to pay for gas? I'm not talking about DSTV. How are you going to pay for fuel? Fuel is not going to go down. You can pray till the heavens will fall. It won't go down. That's the price. Go outside of Nigeria, you'll see the prices people pay for it. Yes, our leaders have ruined us, no doubt. But that's the price. Go to Ghana, go everywhere. How are we going to survive? We are sleepwalking into a retirement crisis, and that's why we're here this afternoon. So why are people struggling to retire? 4 reasons very quickly. People are not well prepared and well equipped for retirement. We are not prepared. Only 3 or 4 people raised up their hands in this crowd. You have never gone on a retirement program. A program you should have gone to before you started work. Then they send you 5 years to go. What are they sending you to? To go and learn how you are going to die in pains. Then they start teaching you, for people that are not farmers, before you have to start grass cutter business. Any business you start that you don't start at least 5 years before retirement, you are going to fail, woefully. Because the statistics says that, businesses, 80 to 90% of businesses everywhere in the world fails the first 5 years. You can't start something new after you have finished working 35 years of your life that you have never done before. So 5-10 years is not even when you started. Number 1 reason is people are ill-equipped. People are not adequately and timely informed about retirement plan. It's a 30 to 35-year plan. I wish I knew some things 20 years ago because it speaks to also wealth creation. We are seated here, we should be enjoying the blessings of God. If it says the Lord delights in the prosperity of his servant, are we not his servants? Are we his enemies? Please, are we his enemies? It says the Lord delights in what? In your prosperity. I'm not talking about the prosperity messages of some of the people we know and the nonsense they speak to. If we have worked, shouldn't we eat the benefit and the fruit of the land? Isaiah chapter 1. If you are willing and what? You shall do what? Please? Some translation says you shall eat the best of the land. It is a curse for us not to be able to eat the best of this land or any land whatsoever. But that's the case. That's the case. Number 3, people lack systemic and institutional support to retire. So even on a policy and governance level, we don't have support. Once you step into a certain age in some nations, you start to collect welfare benefit. There's no way to have welfare benefit. It is provided by your family. You live in Canada, you live in the UK. We don't have old age support. You should go to the hospitals, you should get discount. There's no support. Everybody is a government to himself. So there is crisis. Number 4 is the fact that we cannot even afford to retire. Most of us cannot afford to retire. We can't afford to. Some of us will work till we die. Say, God forbid, you will see. When they ask you your age now, you start, how are you going to do it? See children now. You know how much you are spending on school? How much did we spend? 90 naira on accommodation. Less than 10,000 naira to go through UI. How much are you spending on school fees now? How are these young ones going to raise children? People they are postponing having marriage is not. You say you will have your children. You will find out. You will find out. There's a brother of us, he has a young one. I said, Baba, he said, I return it to you for food. I said, you must have another young one. When you are old, they should be running around your house. When you look at the cost of parenting, it takes like 50 million to train a child through primary school to university now in Nigeria. Not going to big schools, though. 50 million. In the US, it takes like $100,000. Don't even go and do a vet medicine or medicine. How are we going to survive? So there is a risk to our retirement. And it is called retirement poverty. I sent a clip. I know a lot of us don't read it. He's trying to sell his book. You will find out. You go buy for those books later on. The privilege I have is that I thank God that God gave the insight. I wrote this book. And it transformed my life. And I wish that we were told these things before we started the journeys of our life. There is retirement poverty. It is real, oh. It is real. You'll be coming around there, one now. Because how are you going to survive? As you're all seated, you 200K. Is that what you're going to live on? Even if they give you 1 million in current Nigeria, there is devaluation, there is inflation. We have created an organization, SY Retire Tech. I've sent the link. Go there, go and. My mom, she was in Abuja. I asked her, "Yeah, let's start to type in your cost." We have a retirement calculator. Calculate your cost now. We have automated the process. It will give you 20 years of what that will be. That means if you are retiring now, you will see what you will need in 20 years. I'll get to it. We can't retire. That means we are planning that our children will be a retirement plan. And they are already telling you, come and win fund the fellowship. Our not in Yeri. Don't you know that was what we did? We'll be funding your own generation again. Go and fund it yourself. So it's a process that we have to run away from. Poverty in retirement is a process. That scripture, please, the next slide. That scripture says a little sleep. We know it. A little slumber. We are sleepwalking. We are sleepwalking into poverty. It says poverty will come on you like what? An armed man. You just suddenly wake up and find out you are very poor. And that is why we talk about what we call old age or retirement poverty. It's a phase of life where we don't have enough to sustain us. And we have worked all our lives. Seated here are some of the most honest and hardworking people you can ever meet. But there's nothing to show for it. But you see, it is not, and we keep blaming the government. It's not government. It's not government. Allah ti ṣe ló máa ń ṣe kíni. Allah ti ṣe ló máa ń ṣe kíni. If you don't understand Yoruba, the Allah Tishe is the one that knows how to do the Tishe of himself. Go and figure out what that means. Some few years ago, I renamed myself. I said, Motidi Ola Soji. I've woken up. It's not Ade Soji, Ola Soji. I've woken up. Because if you don't wake up, nobody will help you out of this rot. It is everywhere in the world. In the US, in the UK, the statistics are there. People cannot afford to retire. I'll show you slides that will tell you that. In terms of our pension system, that is where we have issues most. Our pension system is broken. How many of us have pensions here? You are paying former pension. Please lift up your hand. Okay? Because they work in the university. I don't want to call private people so that I don't embarrass people. But you know that as a private person, man, you run your own business now and you pay. How many entrepreneurs have pensions? Let me shock us. Nigerian pension system is broken, really. And like every system across the world. We are 64 over 71 in the ranking of pension systems across the world. We are better than few countries. You can see them. Bahrain, Poland, Morocco, India. Our pension system is nothing. And why is it nothing? There are reasons. There are few challenges we are facing. Only a few people are actually paying pensions. Only 10 million Nigerians out of 70 million Nigerians are on the pension fund. What percentage is that, please? Mathematics, a mathematician here. 10 over 70. Please help me out. Help me out. Only 10 million. I'm giving you data and statistics. Only 10 million Nigerians have pension fund. What is going to happen to the rest? That pension is not even enough. Oh. That's number 2. But only 10 million has got. Number 3, that value of the pension has been eroded by currency devaluation and inflation. In 2004, 2005, a brand new Avensis cost 4.2 million. That car is like 80 million now. It's like 100 million. Erosion of value. So even the little you have put there is nothing, no. How many of us who have pensions, have you been seeing your account? If they can't even ask you not to work again, why boost economy straight? Why be economy straight? How are you going to do it? But people, you can see, people are lining up. Have you gone to the pension funds office? Please visit it. Our young people visit it and go and see people there. Learn. It says go to the ant. Go to those places and learn. Wala is coming. You suffered poverty growing up. You suffered it as an adult. You now want to extend the legacy. It's like God forbid. Amen. Many people cannot afford to retire. There are things that should have settled before retirement. Some people are not even able to settle because it's not their fault. You must have raised all your children out of school. Some of us, we married late. It's not because we wanted to marry late. Abi? When you look at those children, it takes you know, I have folks around me, they say, Dr. Lai, you depressed. I say, I don't depress. I motivate you by inspiring you. Because that was how I was depressed too. So I love my neighbor as myself. As I was writing the book, as I was seeing my life passed in front of me, I'm thinking, I must also allow you to see what is coming. And we can still do something. It takes 20, 22 years to train a child. Add it to your age. Add it to your last child's age. And then when you are done, you should have your own place. At least. You know. So people are unable to retire. And so some of them have made their children their retirement plan. So only 10 million Nigerians have retirement savings, official by PENCOM, out of 70 million. I'm sure we have 100 million Nigerian workers, but they say 70 million. We are in trouble. Because people, I mean, we're all seated here. How much do we send to our parents every month? By show of hand, how many of us you commit to family members every month? Your salary. You see? When you want to leave job, they will be warning you, man official hello. The demon that has been talking, I wanted to change your people that are calling you. It's not because you are facing, they don't. When you say, who are stressful, when you are stressful, I had a brother is late now. I said, brother, it's stressful, it's stress here. When they are collecting, people who are interested they don't care how stressful it is. Because they live upon your black taxes. That is why the African person is unable to build wealth. Because we are unable to accumulate. And we are also Christians, so it is worse off for us. As you are sent to school now, people are waiting for you. In terms of the erosion, because the treasury, the pension fund, by the regulations of Nigeria, to safeguard pensions, they said they should not invest it in foreign investment. So they put it in Nigerian investment. That suffers devaluation. And it suffers, the impact of economic challenges of Nigeria. They found out that by currency devaluation alone, the pension fund lost 54% of its value in 2024. Yes, now look at it. What you have in 10 years ago, that amount, what it could buy and what it could buy now. And then, we'll say to ourselves, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. You're not going to cross any bridge. It's River Niger. So we need to start to look at that bridge. So don't fly into retirement blindfolded. The Bible says in Luke 14:28, we know that scripture very well. Which one of you will want to build a tower and will not first sit down and do what? And count what? The cost. What is the cost of your retirement to you? Very quickly. I need you to go to that page where I have the cost. Please. Whichever is, you are not, yeah. You can't see it, but you have the presentation. In the UK, you need £572,000. Sorry, in the US, you need £572,000 to retire. Dollars rather, to retire. You need to save $572,000. Call your people there, ask them. The average American has saved $269,000. Not even immigrants. Immigrants are in trouble because they entered the market late. They entered in their 40s most of the time. So you have only 20 years to save. The people that have 35 years cannot even save 562. In the UK, you need £640,000 as a man, for a female, and £600,000 as a male. Who is going to save that kind of money? That's why they don't give you anything from UK. They give you boxers and socks. When they come, they give you chocolates. Pastor, as much as they should bring something, they'll say, Pastor, it might be no. Because they can't afford. Nobody has £1,000 saved in a month. Please call them. You pay like 40 to 55% of tax. In Canada, you pay 40. People that have tried running out of Nigeria, I have people who earn $100,000 in Canada. I have brethren from this fellowship. They can't give you $1,000. I'm raising money for business. They can't give it. They are on mortgages for 35 years. A house in Canada costs $1 million Canadian dollars. It's like $900,000 American dollars. you pay for 35 years. So they finish paying when they're about to die. That's the truth. They don't tell you. They work 3 jobs. They are listening everywhere in the world. Some have fantastic jobs. But, it is not also a walk in the park. At best, they're able to send children to school. They're able to afford good things. The point is, some of them are planning. Most people that have left, they are planning to come back to Nigeria. In the book I wrote about Japada, people are coming back. People are buying. We sell real estate assets in Ibadan. We run a real estate asset business that my wife, manages. They are buying. People are buying 10, 20 million along is sharing. People are buying properties. They sell before they go, then they return to buy again. Because it's not easy to live there now. Some of us have children living abroad. Call them. They can't send mommy $100. They'll say, Mommy, how are you doing? I love you. What do you need in Nigeria? 250K. If you are going to need 250,000 naira monthly, if you are spending like 250,000 naira, let's say by the time you retire, you need to spend 250,000 naira every month. You will need to have saved. What is 250 times 12? Let's do the maths. Let's do it together. So you don't think I'm conjuring math. 3 million. 10 years. 20 years. If you are retired at 60 or 65 and you plan to live till 85, have you saved 60 million? Who is going to save 60 million? Because that is what is meant to be your retirement income. And none of us seated here will spend less than 200, 250K, even without children. So there is trouble on the horizon. 500K monthly, you will need 120 million. People listening everywhere in the world. Nobody saves that kind of money. Some people are making stupendous money, and they probably have been able to save that, or they've been able to create investment that has given them that. So, basically, please, the next slide, go there. There is a retirement calculator. Go and use it. It's for free. We've floated a company. We spent, millions of naira creating that. That is for free. Go on that calculator. You put in your monthly cost. It will give you can download the report. It will give you what you need for 10 years, 20 years. If you were retiring on your current cost, that will start to tell you that a wumbelewe okotani longer gan fun ara nsin ewu baba ni we're in big trouble. And that's why we must do something. If you are not going to be doing kidnapping, Abi, how are we going to solve this problem? People are going to be very frustrated in the old age of their lives if something is not done. How do you escape retirehood or retirement poverty? Please, there are 3 things, and I don't have the time. Please, there are materials, there are things we publish. You need your pension to start with. It is small, you must have it. Most of us entrepreneurs don't have. Please, they created a micro pension. Only 1 million Nigerians joined. Most people in the market don't have, and that's why you see old people on the road. They don't have anything to live on. Even the Baptist convention, how much do they pay pastors? How much? How much? You'll now be looking for preaching assignment everywhere when you're retired. My trip to New Jersey in 2019, I took an Uber, and I saw the man he was an elderly South Korean, Chinese and South Koreans look alike, but I saw it was South Korean. So I asked him, I said, "Sir, I just want to find out if you don't mind. Do you do this full time?" He said, "No." I said, "I'm a full-time pastor. I'm a Methodist pastor. In the morning, I don't have anything, so I do this. In the evening, I just offer a pastor come and watch Shilaro." It's true. I ran a session like this. I brought, in his church, it's not Shorogun now. And they were seated. And I said, "Go and learn from Paul. Go and learn from Aquila and Priscilla." And people from the seminary were there. I said, "You need to teach them about entrepreneurship. Their own children should not go to the walls of the schools. You can't live on these things. How much do they pay you, sir? How much? You'll not be living on the goodwill of members. And you must be careful the messages you preach, so that it doesn't touch the guy that gives the biggest tithe. Or else he'll come and tell you, "Pastor, I think focus, don't really meet you." Say, "Go ribe." Ẹ̀mí money. To buy ẹ̀mí money, I'll change your mind. To say, Pastor, your wife will be telling you, I just preach with wisdom. Because background, it's true. It's true. A man that cannot take care of his family is worse than an infidel. But that's where we are pushing people. The next one is investment. You need investment. You need massive investment. Some of us have investment in real estate. I'm always talking is in construction. We are real asset rich, but we are liquidity poor. I've got some paintings on my wall that I invested in. It's like real estate. You want to sell them, it may take you 10 years to sell. You need diverse portfolio of investment. There are many. Most of us don't know yet. You say, I'm a believer. Gold. Gold is the purest and the best conserver of value. Bought, 3 pieces of gold in 2002 for 30,000 naira. In 2024 January, when I was writing the book, I'm not talking to you about the things that we went to Wuse Market and sold it for 890,000 naira. You don't know anything. You go to the north, they wear it. People sell it. People sell it. Christians. A sister told me, she's a missionary, said, thank God it was my gold. I know, I leave that camera thing. At least they can hear me. There's gold. You can invest in gold. You don't have to use it. Keep it. Now, because of what is happening in America and China, gold is the biggest value. It's been on for 1,000 years. It's been on since the time of Solomon. Go and learn wisdom. When God took them out of Egypt, he has them to go and spoil the Egyptians. What did he give them? Gold. There are things you can... It's not just real estate. And some of us, we pour our money into real estate. You put into residential real estate. It's not the best. Commercial is the best. People can't even pay rent again. Abis? A lot of them can't pay rent. So there's so much to learn. The portfolio of investment. And finally, you must have retirement income. Active income. The session I ran with the Lagos zone. Do you know there are people in Nigeria? Let's even start with career. There are people in Nigeria who earn 3 billion naira a year. One of our known brothers is... And my wife was like, Lai, don't put that thing there. I said, well, I'm not going to share it. I've published a book. If you go to the book, you'll see it. People who earn 3 billion. They earn more than 200 million naira every month. In fact, people tell you cannot work for people and be rich. It's a lie. Oh. It's a lie. 3 billion. Our brothers that have worked, some of them will not be, they will not be telling you. Some of them are we used to call it in oil and gas. I worked in oil and gas as armed robber salary. 3 billion. You will take about 5 million, Lord. I wish I can show us that. But it's in a session that we had, and it's gone into some book you can actually buy in Nigeria. My mom was telling me that the book, you can't buy it because it's not published for Nigerians. We spent close to $5,000 to publish that book. And if you are serious about your life, you buy it. And people will buy it. And I'm not saying we are not serious. That's why we've not bought it. People went and changed money into $400-500 to put in CBEX. That opened my eyes to how we can go to any length to look for money. So you need to have these 3 things. I cannot cover this. I need to close. What does it require to retire well? It is 35-year plan, please, people. Marathon. I met one of our brothers, wonderful, wonderful soul. And he told me, he's got like 6-7 years to retire. He said, Dr. Lai, if I retire today, I can, because when you retire, what is the grand rule or rule of thumb? You must have 75% of the salary you need to be able to pay it for yourself. 75%. You are timing me, sir. I'm going to round up now. I will let them go. 75%. He said, I can retire now because he has created investments. It's not the salary that would guarantee him that amount of money. So it takes 35 years. And he told me, my first shares were bought for me when I was in secondary school. He's around 53, thereabout now. That's why you young people, how many of us young people have shares here? Dangote is collecting 264 billion naira on dividends. Yes, he owned the company. Otedola is collecting like 40-something billion naira from First Bank. How many of us, young people that are students, you have shares? You see? Poverty is loading. You know, I said someone has not, your parents have not put, poverty is loading. So basically, I need you to see what we call the 9-pillar retirement model. And I think I can round up. What's the time, sir? I need to round up. Okay? I'll show you this, please, and I'll round up. I won't cover. Please, next slide. We created this. We gave this to the body of knowledge. Everybody around the world will tell you about planning for retirement, and they talk about one thing: financial planning, financial well-being. Do you know my experience around this? It is the least of the problem. Even all the things I've spoken, it's the least of the problem. I have people who have money, and they died 2 years after retirement. In fact, the last set of slides showed a study that was done that people that worked till 65 dropped dead 18 months after. And that is consistent also in Nigeria. Someone just died in this university. You stop work, or you work too late. And they found out that people that retired at 55 or 60 were able to blend into old age. When you retire matters. But what is retirement planning? You must be able to know where you are. That's the first pillar. So we created this 9-pillar model. Number 2, physical well-being. I met a young lady whose father had worked in the Nigerian police force as a traffic warden. And the man cannot walk again. Because he stood for 30 years, the pain is on his spinal cord. There's physical. I did not know that there are things you need to do. But I've seen it also in my career, how people will not live long because of your work. You're already stressed up. So there's physical well-being. The third one is social well-being. I met military generals. Their biggest fear is ex-pastor, retired professor. When they call you ex, the memories that run through your mind, the losses that you have made, ex-governor, they fear it. When I'm talking to them, I say, sir, if you drop this uniform, they say, we know. So, social well-being. Some of us, our work is all our life. I thank God for this fellowship. You don't have any relevance. You want transgenerational impact. You have not built capital of influence beyond your work. If they remove your title, they remove that job, what happens to your life? You run a two-way street. You don't have a life. So they are going to go. It's go and come. Church, work. Church, work. You don't have a life. Social well-being. They found that isolation killed more people than not having money. And the day you drop your title, they call it when the phone stop ringing. People stop calling you. They're calling you because of your job. Mental well-being. Let me quickly say this. A lot of our sisters haven't even realized it. And some of our scientists here, please go and study it. It's been understudied. Once you hit menopause, women start to lose their memory. And we've not realized it. We lose memory. Even men, men have menopause. Most of us cannot even remember. When you're asking something, so menopause is shelled, even for some brothers. You don't know men have menopause. I have an old man who was the age of my father. Every single year, because my father died some few days to... Okay, so 2 things. He mixes it up. The man is in his 80s, close to 90 now. He's lost his memory. So he will call me like 7 times every day congratulating me on our marriage anniversary. You are laughing. No, don't laugh. Don't laugh. Some of you are already exhibiting loss of cognitive ability. Mama, you are opening your mouth. Most of us, in fact, men are fighting their wives because some of them are already losing memory. I've met people, I've seen this. Please, I'm asking you, if you're a scientist, go and study. There is a loss. And that happens once you start to turn 60. They found out that nuns who went into academics into their 65 and 70s were able to overcome Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. They didn't even know they had it. The next one is the financial well-being that we all talk about. You need to also plan, as a woman. And then we need to plan for purpose. That is the biggest one. Let me round up on this point. Please go to the next slide. When you retire, you have 2,000 hours that you cannot account for. 1,920 to 2,000 hours. Have you ever gone on leave for 1 month? Consider going for that leave for 20 years. That's why a lot of people die. That's why you see them, they come back to staff club. You have to come, because what are you going to be doing? It's nothing. You would think all there is to life is to train these children. When they are out of the house, go and ask all the ones, our ignorance whose children are out of the house, how they are living their life. your life becomes at times, you are not even able to figure out what is going on. You want to do church, you will do church and be tired. Purpose. What happens after we eat that hate? And finally, as I round up, please go to, if we hope that our retirement will turn out well without a documented plan, we are joking, it is not a strategy. We all need to put in a strategy to ensuring that we deal with all the facets of retirement. If you are going to live long and live physically well, like I was challenging my mom to say, you can't jump 50 times. Do you know that there are diets for mental well-being? They call it mind, that have been devised to ensure that your brains are still working. It is not going to be by accident you are going to have your memory. The kind of exercises that you need to have on a daily basis. You can't eat 40 and not do 30 minutes of work every single day. You are not going to, we are not trying to, the Bible says if you shall do this thing, you shall elongate your life. What does that suggest to us? It says, I will bless them with long life. Psalm 91, Abi. I shall bless you. Abi, is that what he said? I would what? Bless you with long life. But he says if you shall do certain things, the Bible not say it, you will elongate your life. That means we can shorten it. We need to start to take very drastic steps to change, the outcome that we are looking at. As young people, you need to start to think about the jobs you are going to do. You need to start to plan. How do you want to end your life? We never thought we were going to reach this age, but we are there now. Most of us are in our 50s. Some of us are in our 60s. Some of us are about to retire. Are we prepared for retirement? And as I round up, God forbid it's not a prayer any longer. It is an action point. If you don't invest in knowledge, we will dearly pay for ignorance. If you don't invest in knowledge. So please go to the last two slides. The recommended resources. Because of Lagos Zone, this came up on Seller. It's on Seller. And it talks about wealth creation. There are things we don't know why we are poor. I wish I knew some things 20 years ago. And it's not this prosperity they are teaching. It is the act of creating wealth. Let me tell you one thing the rich does that we don't do. Brother Tunde collects salary. Lai collects salary. Brother Tayo collects salary. We will look at expenses and address them, Abi. The rich don't do that. The rich don't do that. The same problem you are in, they are in. What they do, so for instance, me and Brother Tunde, let's say Brother Tayo is a rich man, or the person that wants to be rich amongst us. He likes it. He wanted us to be poor. He's laughing. He liked that analogy. That is me and Brother Tunde that are the poor ones. Okay, we will change. We are learning. So Brother Tayo and all of us are in the same boat. He gets money. We all need a car. Massively in the house. Me and Brother Tunde will buy a car that we'll be using to work. Brother Tayo, as for someone that wants to be rich, will go and buy a car and use it for Uber. And they will pick him at home. So the rich don't put their money into expenses. They put into assets. The asset pay for the expenses and the liabilities. That is the amazing difference in our lives. We take debt, we put it into expense. They take it and put it into asset. Asset will now give them what you call asset income. So their liabilities and expenses are addressed by what you call secondary income. There are things we don't know. There are things we were never taught. There are things you never got in an MBA class. Please, we need knowledge. So this is also the book that is on Lulu in the US. I think it costs like $18 for the ebook. If you want to order because of the cost and all of that, that's the cost. You will buy the truth and you sell it not. As I end my conversation this evening, my plea to us is that we need to change our level of ignorance. There are a lot of things we don't know. And people are paying dearly for it. I spoke to a company, I don't want to mention them, and we're talking, it's a big oil and gas, big multinational oil and gas company. And they are collecting stupendous money. One of the people who worked in that place told me, said, Brother, if my people retire in 6 months, they can't survive. I don't want to mention names of organizations. I went to one, I did a strategy retreat for them. They came to their management. The oil company is based in Kaduna. Big one. They came to their management and said, please, tell the banks not to borrow us money again. Because when some of us retire, they won't take anything home. People earn 200, 300, 400 million naira a year, man. Debts, bad investments, bad lifestyle, and people in 1 year are dead after retirement. So some of us don't even have enough. But they have more than enough. But they are not able to retire. So there are so many things that goes into this retirement thing that it also involves our career. Some of us, as we are seated here, in this class, in this session we had the Lagos zone, some of our jobs are going to be replaced. Let me be honest with you. All of us professors, we are going to be replaced. Bakule, thank God, and all of you are leaving very soon. I replace Bobo. Doctor, TTD professor. We are going to be replaced. They are going to replace you. Where you are not going to replace is where you are the one giving them information for the replacement. You better be on the side that is giving them strategic information. I've told Kunle several, why can't I record you now? Why do you go to class every now and then, sir? And then you'll be collecting money. That's what we should do for all of you. I will retire you. I showed my family, I did devotion, sir. Pastor, sir. And I asked a question from the scripture. And AI gave me a message. You don't know? What they for me, and it was exactly the message I would have preached. So it's going to replace you too very soon. Unless it's going to replace us. HR people are gone. Accountants are gone. If your job can be put into an SOP, you are finished. We must start to look at the next 3 to 5 years of evolution of careers. IBM just laid off all their HR people. I was the former CEO of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. So don't think, and I'm warning them, ethics law. Even these engineers, they are gunning for you. Because everything is a model. The thing will be, what we will need is any near experience to supervise. And that's why, few people will be retained. The function will not go, but the jobs will go. Where are typists? But has typing gone? We are all typists. Because the skill has been democratized. Please, young people and our fellow brothers and sisters, we need to quickly start waking up. There is alarm that is blowing. And may God help us to plan very well in Jesus' name. I'm done.
Thank you so much, sir, for that elaborate section. I think it's worth it at last. Can we just take 1 or 2 questions? Time to law. All right. You said you raise your hand. Okay, just 1, 2. Please come to the front.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that wonderful session. I have 2 questions. Yes. As a young person now, what are those things that I can actually do to prevent AI from actually replacing my my job? Then the other thing is, you mentioned in the case of investing in gold. How can we invest in gold?
So thank you very much, sir. So my question is just that the way you talked like civil servants are the way they will retire is not so good, because my parents, both of them are civil servants, so I know what they are facing, even though they are facing a lot, obviously. Yeah. So now my question is that, as I'm a medical student, so I'm trying to practice medicine. Now I know the range of salary we are going to be receiving, and the way you talked about investments, recruitment, income, and pension. Now the pension is not so enough the way you broke it down, and as a salary earner, the way you'll be living, you will not be able to invest of 1 million, 2 million. You understand? Now the question, sorry, sir. So the
This program was for you. See all these my months, they are in extra time. Me, I'm about to start extra time. So yes. This is for you. You are asking the right question. I wish I
So my question is just that how can we manage to survive? You know, the way we are moving our lives now is like we are going to be civil servants. We are not orientated the way business can go and all. So my question is how can I survive as a medical doctor?
Okay, thank you very much. To the next ESCO, they are here. You know, I spoke about it. We need to empower these people. We need to empower ourselves. There are things we also don't know as old people. My mom came to Abuja and I told her she's a retired mistress. Mommy, lẹ́yìn ìkùlé, we have a big compound. And they raised at the year 12. They want to kill one and give me today out of the one she started raising in September. She was shocked. And later, she wanted to retire as a mistress. She spoke to my father, who was a deputy assistant registrar, and said, Edu la mama tabag, Edu. Cold. We are poor because a lot of us are too educated. This Brodemala, when I knew, man, this is Sister Jane. Brodemala can remember when the wedding happened, sir. You know, we ate our rice with a nice stuff on it. Brodemala was a farmer before, Nabi, sir. I know, yeah, but it's not as much as then now. Because this, you know, so please, if you want to ask questions, go and ask some of them. You can't survive on this salary. Most people in the world don't live on their salaries. They live on their secondary income. But you say the income is not even enough. So what are we going to do? But we need to start, for some of us who are academics here, researchers, some of us go and, I just finished a program in Japan. It's good for promotion. Not 2,500, let's publish paper. Yes. What will you get to become a professor? When you become a professor, what has happened? Don't you have professors that have retired? Don't you know some of them that have died in, they were looking wretched. I'm not saying don't get to the height of your profession, but me, I published a book with $3,000 or $4,000. And that's what I'm encouraging all of us to do. Put your test. You remember we didn't use it in my own secondary school because it wasn't SSC. Those people publish physics textbook. They live on tent. There's Pastor Olumide Emmanuel. Go and listen to the man. How he bought plot of land that he's selling now. Go and buy on Ishayin Road. We sell real estate to people abroad in this about taking positions along Ishayin because I mo drop any straight. Because you are laughing. A bag of lithium. I sponsored the entire reunion. We'll buy you a new bus. If you see people are making true stupid money, But we tie, we'll be doing professor, we'll be doing it is not wrong. No, you have to have so it's either you are making money by patent. I think in that book I wrote it there, The Kings of Patent. All they do is patent. In fact, they said a guy will go. It was called the King of Patent. He will look at something that will sell, he will go and patent it. So that you will go and discover it. When you discover it, say, I've patented that idea. You discovered it. So please, let your research. Dr. Mo Ibrahim, sorry sir, he was the founder of Celtel. Mo Ibrahim rolled out the first mobile telephony in the United Kingdom. Where did he come from, sir? Amas? From his PhD in 1973 in University of Cairo on mobile telecommunications. When he sold Celtel, he sold it for $3.4 billion. He's giving African leaders an award for good leadership. That's how you're going to make your money. So if